The news continues now with stories from our area of specialization, women and children. After the main transmission of our news, we rebroadcast on our YouTube page, Clearview TV. Do you operate a women or children's NGO? Are you at the helm of affairs of a government establishment or a corporate organization involved in the affairs of women and children? Then you are our partners in progress. We have a mission to better the lot of our women and children. Join us to celebrate womanhood and work assiduously to better the lot of the Nigerian child. This is our mission.
Welcome back. A one-day national conference on women living with disabilities has ended in Abuja, the nation's capital, with a call on everyone to stop the discrimination and violence being perpetrated against them by the society. The conference also stressed the need for women living with disabilities to be accorded the opportunity to hold political offices and contribute their quota to nation building. Clearview TV's Imefo Okon was there and now reports.
It was another moment for concerned interest groups and individuals to brainstorm on issues affecting women living with disabilities and how they could be encouraged to participate more effectively in nation building through their involvement in politics and decision-making process. However, the worry among the discussants is the continued discrimination and sometimes violence often visited on women with disabilities. For some dignitaries at the event, this class of women needs to be encouraged to speak out if they experience any form of abuse.
We are women with disabilities. We are not less women. We are not asexual. We are women with disabilities with every potential of women without disabilities.
I think it is time for us to begin to think about sustainable partnerships between organizations that interpret sign language interpreters across all service institutions in Nigeria.
Persons with disabilities have the same rights as everyone else, as affirmed in the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talin, who was represented by the Deputy Director, Gender Affairs, Christiana Oliko, told the conference that the federal government was already redoubling efforts to come up with strategies to check violence against women living with disabilities and challenged states and local governments to follow suit.
The government, civil society groups and donors, and indeed all stakeholders at all levels must redouble their efforts in designing interventions, plans and strategies by engaging PWDs. That is, whatever we are doing, every program we are designing, we need to involve them. We cannot just sit somewhere, design programs and projects without them.
Earlier, the convener and keynote speaker, Patience Okolo, had emphasized the need to increase awareness on inclusiveness for women living with disabilities at all levels.
To change this narrative, we need to change the mindset of the general populace to see the people first and their ability and capability instead of seeing the disability first.
The theme of the one-day national conference was Violence Against Women Living with Disabilities is Violence Against All Women. Imefo Okon, reporting for Clearview Television.
Still talking about the female folks, women living with disabilities have continued to lament over the neglect and violence they often experience at home and in the society as a whole. In spite of their challenges, they remain resolute towards changing the narrative and contributing their quota to nation building. In this report, Clearview TV's Imefo Okon takes a look at the plight and strength of women living with disabilities and how they can be properly integrated in the scheme of things at all levels.
It is estimated that 25 million Nigerians live with a disability. Of this number, 3.6 million are said to have significant difficulties in functioning. According to a report by the Disability Rights Advocacy Center, it is estimated that about 13 million of this population are women and girls. Some women living with disabilities speak on challenges confronting them.
Issue of a relationship, acceptance in the society, acceptance even in the family you are coming from. We struggle to be accepted in the family we are coming from, because the family members feel that, for instance, they're discussing family issues, they don't really call you there. They feel you don't have anything to contribute.
I'm a spinal cord injured person. For people with disability, we can have some generic kind of challenges, but for a spinal cord injured person, one of the health one we face, health challenges. We pass through a lot of neuropathic pains, so we live with pains 24/7.
Why I'm on the wheelchair? In 2012, I went to Kaduna. I was coming back to Abuja, and we had an accident, and that was where I had a spinal cord injury. I became paralyzed from waist down, and then I lost my daughter. There's so many challenges. For example, when I go out, my wheelchair, sometimes if I'm not with this automatic wheelchair, they have to start wheeling me, and then if there's no ramp, they have to carry me with the wheelchair. Sometimes it's very embarrassing.
The society don't value us. They think that we are weak, that we cannot contribute anything to the society. Socially, they feel that we are only good for sexual, that we cannot reproduce, that we cannot be loved. Politically, they think that we cannot vote and be voted for. Religiously, they think that we are not fit to enter into the church, that we only need healing. Apart from healing, we don't need anything.
I don't see myself as a person with disability because I know I've defeated my own disability. The challenges I said I have is gender-based violence.
Despite the challenges, women living with disabilities have their own strength, which, if properly harnessed, could turn out to be the tonic needed for self-actualization.
My strengths are my sons. My sons are my strengths. In fact, me saying that makes me cry, because for every time I look at my children, I feel like I had to just live. I had to just live for them.
I go to school, I learn a skill, which I am doing. And I make sure that I did not just learn a skill, I make sure I learned a skill that people need. And people call me for services. And when I deliver, they forget that, oh, this is a woman with disability. They first of all see the professionalism in what I am doing.
One of the things that keep me strong is that I'm relentless, because this doesn't define me. That's one of them. I'm relentless, and I want to impart in people's life, because I'm able to come, or maybe won't be able to come because of the challenges. And also I'm hopeful too.
Our strength in God come from God, the inner being of us, because I believe that whatever you think is what you are.
According to the World Health Organization, WHO, disability is an umbrella term covering impairment of activity limitations and participation restrictions. For women living with disabilities in Nigeria, their limitations and restrictions in public governance and policy decision-making process can be overcome through government policy actions aimed at, according to them, rights and privileges like other members of the society. Imefonokon, reporting for Clearview Television.
The Ogun State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of a 23-year-old woman, Mary Olatayo, for allegedly selling her 3-week-old baby boy for 600,000 naira. The State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Abimbola Oyeyemi, in a statement on Thursday, said the suspect was arrested following a complaint from the father of the baby. He said the man had rented an apartment for Mary to live in after she got pregnant for him. He further explained that the lady suddenly disappeared with the baby from the apartment 3 weeks after delivery, only for her to be found in a hotel where she went to hook up with another man. On interrogation by the Ogun Divisional Police, Mary Olatayo confessed to the police that she sold the baby to someone in Anambra State at the rate of 600,000 naira. She confessed that it was her friend Chioma Ogbonna who led her to the buyer in Anambra State and that they both shared the money equally. Her confession led to the arrest of Chioma Ogbonna, who also corroborated Mary's claims. A 200-level student of education management, Federal University Dusima, Najim Shehu, has been paraded by the Katsina State Police Command over the death of his 60-year-old stepmother, Asia Mohammed. It was gathered that Najib, alongside his father and Asia, were at home when an argument ensued between the undergraduate and his stepmother. During the argument, Najib reportedly went into the kitchen, picked up a pestle, allegedly smashed his stepmother's head with it, and equally hit his father's leg. While Najib's father was said to be recuperating in a hospital, his stepmother, who was also rushed to a nearby hospital, was confirmed dead by a medical doctor. Narrating how the incident happened at the police command headquarters, Najib said he had a misunderstanding with his stepmother, adding that his stepmother was the one who attempted attacking him with the pestle. Women have officially attended a domestic league football match in Iran for the first time since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. State media say about 500 women are thought to have been at the game at Azadi Stadium in Tehran on Thursday night. Women have effectively been barred from domestic matches where men are playing due to clerical disapproval under the Shia Muslim regime. The last men's match they watched was a World Cup qualifier 3 years ago. At the time, authorities relented following an outcry after the death of 29-year-old Sahar Kodyari, who set herself on fire while awaiting trial for trying to attend a game disguised as a man. Kodyari became known as Blue Girl because of the team she supported and a symbol of the struggle for women's rights in Iran. Several Iranian websites said the decision to allow women into the game on Thursday came after football's world governing body, FIFA, sent a letter to Iranian authorities calling on them to permit more women into stadiums. Prohibiting women from games goes against international football statutes. Those who attended the game between home side, many waved flags, wore their team colors and chanted Blue Girl in acknowledgement to Kodyari. Remember to like us on Facebook, Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview TV. Follow us on Instagram at ClearviewTV_NG. And also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Clearview TV. I am Gloria Atta. Thanks for joining us.